to the kitchen with the Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies. My name is Dr. Evelisse Capó, and today we're exploring the world of grains. So some of us grew up eating mainly rice, maybe some oatmeal, but there's a world of different grains out there, and I want to show you what you can do with them. So I love to make rice and pilafs and add different combinations of different grains to create different textures and flavor profiles. So I made a pilaf today with 5 different grains. And what I did here is I used some long grain brown rice as well as short grain brown rice. I added black rice and I added wild rice, which is not really a grain, it's actually a grass, but we eat it as a grain. And with the wild rice, we do need to add more water. So keep that in mind when you're cooking your grains. Brown rice takes about 45 minutes to cook in a standard cookware. And it needs about 1 cup, for every 1 cup of grain, you need about 1 1/4 cups of liquid or water. It could be vegetable broth, it could be the broth of mushrooms or anything like that. I also added some sorghum to this pilaf. You could also add quinoa, so you could explore and see what you get. So I made this is about 4 cups of the grain pilaf, and you could add some greens, maybe some dried fruits, nuts, and make it your own. The next recipe I wanted to show you here is a chili. So sometimes we think of soy or beans to substitute the meat in recipes such as meatloaf or chili, but actually you could use also bulgur or buckwheat. So buckwheat is gluten-free and bulgur is not, so keep that in mind. I use a lot of buckwheat in place of ground meat. So I made this chili. I added some chili powder, salsa. It was very simple. Lots of beans, whatever I had on hand. Every week I make a different chili and just switch up the beans and the grains. Now, what about for breakfast? So for breakfast, I love to make different oatmeals or hot cereals. This is one of the popular ones, and this I mix 3 grains. So here I have the steel cut oats, which are here. And you can also get quick cooking steel cut oats. This is amaranth, which is an ancient grain, as well as quinoa. And I know quinoa is not really a grain, it's actually a seed and it's a complete protein, but it's very flavorful and I love to add it to my hot cereal. So I add a little bit of chopped dates or date paste and add some spices. And actually all of these recipes I'll be sharing with you. Some of these are on our website already. I also like to make what I call my golden milk oatmeal. And for this one today, I actually used rolled oats. You could also use steel cut. And I added another ancient grain. I added teff. So this is teff, and it's a grain primarily grown in Ethiopia, although we now grow it in some parts of the United States. And it's very small and it has a nutty flavor. I like to toast it before I actually make the oatmeal. And this is delicious. It has ginger and cinnamon. I added some dried figs and hemp seeds at the end. This could actually be dessert for me. And my girl's favorite, pancakes. So these pancakes are made with whole grains. And this is a spin or a traditional pancake recipe. We added some chopped apples and cinnamon. But the base is actually oats. You have the rolled oats and millet. So millet is another grain that I like to integrate specifically when I make pancakes or baked goods because it has a very neutral flavor and it softens the recipes or the dishes. So it's really great to cook with. So the sorghum, one other tip I wanted to give you is you can actually pop sorghum like popcorn. So you could do this in a dry skillet. You don't have to use any oil, and it's a nice little treat. So all of these grains are gluten-free if you have any sensitivities, with the exception of the bulgur. So keep that in mind. So hopefully you guys will start to experiment and try different grains and just think the possibilities are endless. Thank you for joining us, and go to our website for more recipes.